You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, July 17th show. You can also listen to our podcast, Facebook premiere show, or our show on our YouTube channel. In addition, for more information on any of my upcoming events, please go to tinamitchellevents.com. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
It is a great day to talk about money, and that's what the show is all about, how to make money, save money, so you can have a better quality of life for you and your family. If you are hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We are here to connect you with the guests that we have on the show so they can answer any questions or any future topics that you would like to hear. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And now on our show, very excited to have Chen of Engaging Virtual Meetings, How to Beat Zoom Fatigue, right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Chen, welcome to the show.
Okay, I'm just messing with you, Tina.
Yeah, I knew you were. I know you so well. It's so exciting to have you here, and to the to our listeners here today. I have personally hired Chen to level up my events, my keynote, sharing my story of tragedy to triumph, just bringing me right up stage on a Zoom presence. You're going to see some really cool stuff. If you're watching our video, you're going to see some cool stuff. If you're listening to us on air, you need to go to our site and watch on video some of the things that Chen's going to show you today. Just really excited to have you, Chen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me, Tina. Excited as always, and innovating even more things since the last time I saw you.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me share a little bit about Chen. Meet the author of Engaging Virtual Meetings. He has been doing virtual meetings for over 35 years. Yeah, most of us didn't even know virtual meetings were available 35 years ago. Chen can juggle 16 screens of information at one time. He produced an international training conference for 1,200 attendees that had 100% live. Chen also produced a 6-language virtual meeting. He is recognized without a doubt thought leader of engaging virtual meetings. Chen is the Wiley and Sons author of Engaging Virtual Meetings and 50 digital team building games, top-selling business books. Let's welcome my own personal coach for virtual events, Chen.
Thank you so much, Tina. Yeah, it was so great a chance to work with Tina because, you know, Tina has such a powerful message when she's not doing the money hour. Hopefully you know that we actually up-leveled her talk so that it became more that you got into the talk. And that's part of really the key, I think, that we need to do here in virtual. Like, we all know how to be engaging in the real world. You know, you go up, you talk, you do things. But here in virtual, it's because it's new. I think there's a lot of things that haven't even yet been done or been explored.
Yeah, I think it's, and we're forced to do this because of COVID. Now Zoom is such an official piece of everybody's business. If you're not on Zoom, I don't know what you're doing because it's essential to every business at this point. Chen, let's back up. I want to ask you, tell our listeners who you are and what specifically do you do?
Oh yeah, here. Wait, I can do the short version for this, Keelan. Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm excited to see anything you show me.
Okay, let's see if we can get this done right. All right, here we go. All right, so Keelan, I used to do team building, right? I actually am an FAA drone pilot, and I actually used to shoot the largest number of group videos, right? Known as a droney. But of course, last year, coronavirus, right? And for me, what was my personal story with this? 15 canceled programs. I'm a small business, you know, that's not going to really help me. But hey, Keelan, do you know what this is? Have you seen this thing?
I know what a Prodigy is, but not maybe what you're referring to.
This was an online service, and why it was so groundbreaking was pre-AOL. It was the first graphical, right? But what I love to tell the kids is that this is when modems used to make noise. Do you remember when modems used to make noise, right? They go, right?
Yeah, beep, 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 all that fun. Yep, been there.
I was on this, and this was like, you know, basically 35 years ago. And so I've been meeting online and watching I love the technology, but I also love the human, the psychology, like what our humans do with all this technology. And so as early as 2011, I published this book, 50 Digital Team Building Games, and I got the book into the hands of one of these guys, right? He's kind of a leader. What did my intuition tell me to do with 15 canceled programs? It said, put a course out called Virtual Team Building. I offered it free, kind of like, remember in March of 2020 when we had no idea what was going on?
Yeah.
Like really, you had every day something
No
changed,
idea.
right? And so this was my gift to the world. I said, there's a 1-hour class, it's free. And it was all these ideas that I had been storing up and I had tested along the way. But here's the key to it. 5,000 people took this class last year.
Yeah. That's
And so
crazy.
Wiley came here, John Wiley and Sons, I published my first book. They came, hey, John, you want to write your second book? And if you want to be an author, you should say, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
And I wish that everybody was actually, and if you're driving right now, don't take out your phone and try to see this on video. You can catch it afterwards. But John is just amazing. And I started doing virtual meetings myself. I created my coaching program for One Time Your Business, which is on time management, business efficiency, complimentary 8 weeks, by the way, shout out. You can, and I've 7 years ago, and I've been virtual since then. I was doing virtual opportunities for people to choose virtual for my mortgage business for probably maybe about a decade, however, not 35 years. So I thought I was a step up, but John's a whole nother level. So John, you are the author of Engaging Virtual Meetings. Can you share how that came about?
So yeah, so I put that class up, and again, it really hit, and it hit from like some unique resource. I got republished in a website which was recommending books. Everyone was going to libraries to say what are the work from home resources, and my old book, 50 Digital Team Building Games, got picked up and put out there again. And so this class, and they said, I said, hey, I actually have this class too, right, to show you how to do some of the things in the book, and it just really took off from there. This book was rushed too. So in publishing time, I think I signed in April or May, and the book actually came out in October. And anybody who knows publishing, right, that's fast.
Yeah, that is.
And so since October 2020, right, I think you saw this, is that it hit the Amazon #1 hot new release when it came out. And since then, right, Tina, everyone's talking about how did we deal with coronavirus. And now, right, I used to do team building, but I spend the majority of my time really in designing and producing virtual events, and of course speaking and emceeing at them. And so that's really how my life has been transformed over the past year.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I just want to share with those that are listening. So John's doing some magic here. Like I'm stuck in my chair right now. He's like walking around and zooming out and zooming in and doing some of this Zoom wizardry you've never seen before. So you got to get in touch with John. So I can see how it can make your Zoom meeting so that much cooler than just sitting here staring at my mug. So John, speaking of that, how, in your opinion, do you beat the old Zoom fatigue? Because we've all been there.
So in beating Zoom fatigue, in the book, we really put out 6 things here. And I'll see if I can do the short version of this for you. But we came up with a 6-step system called Engage, right? And so in Engage, we really wanted to look and see, if we could get you to do even one of the 6 things, your meeting would be more engaging. And I think, it's great. I met somebody else, and I did a lot of research on Zoom fatigue, and some of the people came back and said, Zoom fatigue isn't new. It was the same thing. Remember when you had bad meetings, Keelan?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We've all been there.
Yeah, I think Zoom just magnified the badness of those meetings.
Yes.
So, proper meeting design is really one of the keys. But engage, here's the first part. It's E, engage and interact with every attendee. Now, this is easy because I've talked with Tina and I've said Keelan's name. Okay, we got everyone covered. But as the meeting gets larger, it gets harder to enact. But have a plan to talk or touch every single person, right? Whether it's by poll or chat or talking with them, engage and interact with every attendee. What I love is Tina has taken these pieces, and as soon as you get into Tina's meeting, it's different because she's rocking some music, she's playing an inspirational video. I mean, I just love that part. The next one here, though, is this, right? You already know this here in the media industry, but people who are trying to handle this, especially if they're not tech savvy, is that it's so easy to get overwhelmed. Keelan, you're gonna love this. 35 years of being on virtual meetings, and I can still get caught on mute, right?
Yeah. When we do as well, for sure.
And it's not your fault. I think there's
Yeah.
just so much technology, right, that it's so easy to do. So this is the N. The N stands for never lead a meeting alone, right? There are producers here that you're not seeing on camera who help this broadcast be amazing. And I'm telling you, your Zoom meeting should be exactly the same way. And either pay somebody to do it, or just sometimes you can assign somebody in the room who's an attendee to do it. And by the way, that's another engagement trick, because basically, Keelan, if I assigned you to take care of the chat, right, you can't tune out of this meeting. You can't multitask because now I give you an
That's a
assignment.
great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. In my my course, I've got somebody that's facilitating everything. And I was introduced to John one day before I was doing a keynote with Liberty High School for 1,500 students virtually, sharing my story of tragedy to triumph to really make a difference with the school. They had a suicide and a lot of dynamics going on with the teens there. And I met with John and I saw what he can do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. I literally implemented and got everything set up for my Zoom meeting, my keynote that I was doing the next morning. Didn't get any sleep, but I still rocked it anyway. So John, you are just unbelievable in what you do and the way you share everything just to get somebody to take action that quickly. All right. So we have, we just need more time with you, John. This is definitely not enough time because we've got a minute left with you. So we're going to bring you back in for the entire show. So Victoria's online, so she'll get you scheduled for that. But as we're wrapping up here for the last minute, I want you to give everything that you have in a minute that you can share with people that are listening to the show.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, let's do the speed version, right? Here are the other ones. Bad backgrounds, you've seen a bunch of these. What is our solution? G is for good looks. Make this look great. Or you can see here, right? Tina has an amazing mic. You have, of course, your money hour. Find different ways so you can really look great as opposed to like your laundry or a blank wall or all those other things. You know, the problem is people talking over each other in Zoom. Our solution for that is air traffic control. Have systems so only one person is talking at a time. And if you're the host of the meeting, I think that's your job. Of course, working online here is very challenging, but the G in Engage stands for get productive with virtual tools. Learn how to use all the tools if Zoom is your platform or whatever. And then once you master those, then start learning some of these other cool visual tricks or whatever you have. But I think all of you have had Zoom fatigue at least once, right, Keelan?
Yes.
Yep. So the last piece up for this is to E. The last E is end your meeting on a high note. So within the 60 seconds that I have, I gave you 6 things just so you can figure out how to end this meeting on your high note. You implement even one of these, and I bet your virtual meeting will change.
100%. And we're going to have John back in for the entire hour show because what he has is unbelievable. And I know I've already said it, John, but from the deepest place that I can say thank you. I wish you guys were everybody was seeing him on video. It is just awesome. You are amazing. You have magical. And what we want to do when we're doing meetings is we want to be able to connect with our audience. And just like John says, if you're not leveling it up on your in-person, think about how much more challenging it could be in leveling it up on Zoom virtual. But if you've got John behind you, you've got a great guy. So, and keep the smile, look at your camera, get engaged, have those movements. You can see John's actually, he's dancing over here too as well. Do a dance, John, before we go to the next segment.
There we go. So on the next show, I will show you how I'm doing this. For those who can't see, I'm in a 3-dimensional studio. And now I can do this. He needs
some dance lessons, but that's a whole nother show. John, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming in and being on the show.
Thank you, Tina.